Nico Harrison gets it done. Welcome into Mavericks Today. Harrison Graham and Jeffrey Cooperstein. Klay Thompson has chosen to sign with the Dallas Mavericks. We're breaking it all down, and information still pouring in. There still has to be ironed out details of how a 3-team trade is going to be finalized, as Josh Green is going to go to the Hornets to free up the necessary money for Dallas. But it's going to be 3 years and $50 million, which was the max that Dallas could offer Klay, Coop. And listen, man, I got to tell the people watching behind the scenes, you had lost faith. You had given up hope. You had let past disappointments and front office failures deter you. Nico Harrison is not Donnie Nelson, Jeffrey Cooperstein.
This is a new regime. This is a new Dallas Mavericks front office, and they get it done. They get their number one target in free agency, which is just wild to think about because never in a million years would this have happened under the Donnie Nelson regime, and I just can't believe that they ended up with Klay Thompson. It is wild right now to be a Mavericks fan.
And look, is this Pete Klay? No, but I do think you're going to get a motivated Klay Thompson. I think there was a report that he was pissed off last offseason when they paid Draymond and not him. That carried over into the season. Steve Kerr benches him. He's pissed about that. I'm not saying we're going to get all NBA Klay, but I do think he could play better than last year. And even if he's exactly the same as last year, just be a guy that knocks down open threes consistently. Like, that's what you need him to be. Anything else he gives you, Coop, is icing on the cake, especially for this deal. I mean, $17 a year for Klay, that's a pretty good bargain for Dallas.
The amount of open shots that Klay Thompson is going to get in this offense will be ridiculous. Is it crazy to think he'll shoot 44% from three?
No, I think that's possible.
I think it is.
I'd be shocked if it was less than 40%.
Yeah, absolutely. He shot 39% from three last year. This is just an unbelievable signing by the Mavericks. I can't believe that Klay Thompson, 4-time NBA champ, the Splash Brother, is a Maverick.
Incredible.
It is unreal.
Grade the signing, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know. Live poll as well. 72% say A. And again, like, even if you're acknowledging, which I am, like, Klay's best days are behind him, but I still think he can be a very good player. Just think about saying it out loud, Coop. The Mavericks have gotten Klay Thompson. Like, would you have ever thought that would be possible? Like,
not in a million
for
years.
one, you thought he'd be a lifer in Golden State, and if he were going to leave Golden State, he's going to come to the Mavs. I think it is significant when you talk about the shift of this organization. When you talk about the gamble Mark Cuban took when he hired Nico Harrison, a Nike executive. He went relationships over. He went with 2 relationship hires with Jason Kidd as well, but specifically with Nico, Coop, he valued relationships more than experience in this specific type of job, and you see it pay dividends. Kyrie Irving gets him to come over here and commits him to re-signing. He makes a couple of significant in-season trades, starting with the Irving move, and then Gafford and P.J. Washington last year, and now you get Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is choosing the Mavericks over the Lakers. Don't tell me Nico Harrison's fingerprints aren't all over that decision.
And we'll just go through the reporting from what we know right now. This one from Woj I think is significant. Thompson had 4-year offers of more money but was willing to take less, offset by the chance to win a 5th championship with the Mavs and difference in state taxes. So he had better offers monetarily on the table.
Yeah, I mean, look, is that agent talk where it was he got offered a 4th year for similar per year? Maybe, maybe not, but it's still a win for the Mavs to not have to commit to a 4th year because he would have been 38 on that final at the end of that contract. Instead, it'll be his age 36 season in that 3rd year, and he'll be 37 that offseason.
And by the way, the Warriors just signed DeAnthony Melton to their mid-level exception.
They're done, dude.
So they're done.
I mean, here's what's crazy. In the last 36 hours in the NBA right now, Coop, 24 hours, I guess, the East has gotten stronger, and the West has kind of gotten weaker in some spots. Clippers have taken a step back. Warriors have taken a step back. Mavs, I think, have taken a step forward with everything they've done. I still think the West is the better conference, but, like, it's not like an impossible avenue if you're Dallas to be back in the mix next year. Like, if you ask me right now, I would say the Thunder are the team to beat in the West. To get Hartenstein's toughness down low, they overpaid for it.
Yes, they did.
But I'll give them probably the top spot right now. I think Dallas is firmly in the mix to be right there after them. Like, I think they're right there because we already know they could beat Minnesota. They match up well. Denver lost KCP. I don't know what they're going to do to replace him. I mean, you got to be feeling pretty good right now if you're the Mavericks.
This one from Jake Fisher cracks me up. I know it's flip-flop fish, so take it with a grain of salt. But he said, Josh Green, sources said, was someone Charlotte leadership coveted back at the February trade deadline when the Hornets sent P.J. Washington to the Mavericks. Enjoy Charlotte, Joshy.
I will say this, and look, Josh seems like a great guy, a hard worker. I don't think anybody would question those things. If they didn't give him that extension last year, which you and I questioned, this deal may not happen.
Yeah.
Now, you still could have gotten it done. Maybe Maxi Kleber's the salary you end up shedding. But, look, in some ways, that extension paid off. A, Green helped you at least a little bit in the playoffs in this awesome run this year. And B, he helps facilitate a Klay Thompson acquisition. So, in the end, Nico was right there as well. So, give him credit, man. Give him credit.
Give him credit. And then this one from Mark Stein, he's saying, Dallas in, Charlotte in, Klay in. But the Warriors' compensation is not yet finalized, and they aim for no salary back. So that just tells me the Mavs are going to use that $16 million trade exception created by the Tim Hardaway deal, and they're going to send them like a second-round pick or something.
Yeah, some kind of draft compensation. I can't imagine the Warriors are going to demand something crazy. Like, they don't want to screw Klay.
No.
Like, come on. Like, the relationship is already not on great rocks, but, like, you want to 15 years down the line to be able to bring these guys back and have these awesome ceremonial nights, and you want Klay to be a part of that if you're Golden State. So, like, don't hold him hostage. Like, get this done rapidly from the Warriors' perspective, and let's let everybody move on. And by the way, you know what else is interesting about this? They didn't want Josh Green, clearly.
Yeah,
I mean, because they could have taken him back, and they just didn't. So, you know, I think, you know what this tells me? The Warriors paid heavy tax money for years while they were a championship contender. They aren't anymore. They're not going to do it for right now. Ownership's like, let's pay a little less for a couple of years and maybe try to retool it a few years. So I do wonder what you're thinking if you're Steph and Draymond, especially Steph. I mean, you're like 3 for 50. Like that's it. I think they could have, and Klay was just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think the relationship is just fractured, which sucks for them, but is awesome for us.
We've got 1,600 people watching. Please hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, send it to all of your Mavericks fans so we can get in here and have a really fun time. Klay Thompson is a Dallas Maverick.
Yeah, again, finalized on the Warriors comp, has to be submitted, but once that is, it will go through. Hit the like button. Subscribe as well. If you're one of the 1,700 people watching live right now, we went live for every single Mavericks playoff game. Coop and I publish videos every single day. Don't miss out on our content here on the Mavericks. And, we're going to break down this move in further detail. We'll take your questions here on the show. And the Mavs still have probably a move or two to make. They have $4.5 million left in that mid-level exception that they use for Najee Marshall. They could get, I think, a rotation piece. I would have loved Nick Batum with that money, but he just signed with the Clippers. We'll see who they attack. Probably some kind of wing, I would imagine, Coop, to add to this nucleus. Maybe a bigger guard, like there was some Spencer Dinwiddie chatter, but I'd be okay with Spence. I would probably go in the wing direction, especially if you feel good with Jaden Hardy.
Yeah, I think the Mavs do like Hardy, and they'll have, about $4 million left on that?
About 4.5. So you can get in. I'll pull up the top free agents list, and we'll go through some names later that I think could be interesting. We'll have a full video on that tomorrow as well once the dust settles here, but we'll kind of explore that a little bit as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You want to dive into let's do this. Hashtag Mavs or Super Chat to get your questions in. Coop and I will do our deep reaction here in a moment, and then we want to hear from you guys, get your questions, thoughts. What should the next move be for the Dallas Mavericks? We want to hear from all of you. So hashtag Mavs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show, and we will make that happen for you. So appreciate everybody tuning in today, and let's have some fun, man. Klay Thompson's a Maverick.
It is just wild. I can't even wrap my head around it.
You just would have never thought that would have happened.
Never.
Like, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. All right, Coop, when you're ready, We will get into the segment here. By the way, Melton getting a full 12.8.
Yeah, the full mid-level.
I mean, is he better than Josh Green?
Yeah, probably.
Better scorer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not just take... I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Klay Thompson. Welcome to Dallas, buddy. What a day. What a day. All right, get those questions in. We'll answer them here in a little bit. Coop and I are going to react to the news first. Breaking Mavericks news on day 2 of NBA free agency. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you. Klay Thompson has made his decision. He is going to sign with the Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal via a sign-in trade. It's going to be a 3-team deal. Josh Green's going to go to Charlotte, Klay Thompson to Dallas. We don't know the final details going to Golden State, so technically this isn't finalized, but this isn't a DeAndre Jordan situation. Like, he has made his decision to come to Dallas. It's just about finalizing the Golden State part of this.
He's going to join the Mavs.
What a day. What a time to be alive.
I woke up this morning with the feeling that Klay Thompson was a Los Angeles Laker.
This morning? You said it 20 minutes ago.
I said it 20 minutes before the signing, I'll be honest. Given the Mavericks' history with their free agents and whatnot, I just didn't see a path for this happening. But fortunately, I was wrong. Nico Harrison and the boys got the deal done, and they convinced Klay Thompson to come join the Dallas Maverick. The 4-time NBA champion, I believe the second greatest shooter of all time next to his former teammate in Steph Curry, and it is going to get real fun around here. Just wanted to break down some of the immediate news items coming out of this. This one coming in from Adrian Wojnarowski, who said Thompson had 4-year offers for more money, but taking less was offset by the chance to win a 5th championship with the Mavs and difference in state taxes. So it sounds like Klay took the 3 for 50 from the Mavs, but maybe had a 4 for 65 or whatever else he had on the table.
Look, if it was truly down, and we got a new note from Woj that I'll read here in a minute. If it was truly down to the Mavericks and the Lakers, if winning is priority number 1 for Klay Thompson, which, look, at this stage in his career, that was a real question. Like, stay on the West Coast, live that lifestyle, still have a chance to win with the Lakers, but probably not as good of a chance. I could have understand that move. His dad played there. He's a West Coast guy. But if winning was priority number 1, playing next to Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving and them generating him open threes, you're probably not going to find a better situation among the teams interested. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. It'll be interesting to see what offensive tinkering there is. Are they going to add? You would imagine there's going to be some more just kind of emotion offense at times, some back screening to get Klay free.
They're going to have to tinker the offense a little bit because Klay is a different player than the Mavericks have had, and he is kind of a guy who comes off screens. He doesn't dribble very often. He is a catch-and-shoot guy.
But even in basic pick-and-roll sets, that's what they ran in the playoffs, and that generated a lot of open catch-and-3 looks. And through the first 3 rounds, they knocked them down pretty consistently. In the finals, they did not. I don't think Klay Thompson's shooting 17% on wide-open threes in the finals like the Mavericks did. Yeah. Even on a down series, he'll be in the 30s. So
exactly.
I think for that alone, he is a clear upgrade. New note from Woj. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to hear from you guys first. Grade the signing of Klay Thompson, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know in the comment section down below. Now, again, the last part of this is what Golden State gets back in compensation, and they don't want to take a contract back. That was clear by not taking Josh Green back. Woj just a few minutes ago saying, Warriors and Mavericks still working through details of the sign-and trade. The Hornets are sending the Mavericks 2 second-round picks for Josh Green, Coop, which, I'll take it.
All right.
And one of those could end up going to Golden State. So that might be what you flip to Golden State because you're not sending a first in this situation when Klay's leaving. So I'm cool with that. Get net a second-round pick for Josh Green and get Klay back. Like, sweet. Like that works for me. Now, that's not finalized, but it sounds like that could be part of or the compensation going back to Golden State, which also includes the $16 million trade exception.
It is wild to think about that the Mavericks have Klay Thompson on their roster, man. And I just what he can provide for the Mavericks on the offensive end with Luka and with Kyrie, the spacing is going to be unbelievable. And I think the amount of open shots that Klay is going to get, it could give him a revitalization in his career, for being honest.
I think he will get more better looks in Dallas than he got in Golden State last year. I know that sounds crazy with the type of offense they run, but as he gets older and he's a little less mobile, like, he probably doesn't want to be running around all the time.
No,
and with the way the Mavericks play basketball, and again, I think there will be adjustments, but there's just going to be simple pick and roll sets too where they crash on Luka and he just kicks it out. There's Klay Thompson. Like, I mean, that is kicking that out to Klay Thompson instead of Derrick Jones or Tim Hardaway who fell off a cliff. Like, that's a big deal, man. Like, if nothing else, he is going to be a very efficient knockdown three-point shooter. I don't think it's crazy to say that he could shoot 42% from three in this offense. I think that's very much on the table for Klay.
Look, he had a quote-unquote down year last year and shot 38.5% from three on 9 attempts. I mean, this guy is an absolute sniper. He played 76 games, even though he had that torn ACL and Achilles that kept him out for 2 seasons. He's been relatively healthy over the past couple of years. It is so exciting to see Klay here, and I hope he can stay healthy because if he does, the Mavs offense is going to be a very, very fun offense to watch.
All right, we'll get to the kind of the roster breakdown of this in a second, but first, hit that subscribe button. When the Mavs make moves, we got you covered. When they make big moves, we're going live like we did here today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's get to 29,000 subs. We're almost there, and then 30 is just around the corner. Do it for Klay Thompson. Shout out to Nico for getting this thing done. So I think this is your opening night starting lineup, Coop. I think it's Luka, Kyrie, Klay will play the 3, PJ Washington will play the 4. I imagine they go to Lively as the starting 5. I don't know if it matters that much with him and Gafford. They're both going to play over 20 minutes per game, but this would be my guess. And then your bench, you think about just 3 guys in, 3 guys out, right? Tim Hardaway out, Klay Thompson in. Clear upgrade. Josh Green out, Quentin Grimes in. Wash it worse, but I think potential upgrade there, especially if Grimes gets back to what he was 2 years ago when he was healthy. Dereck Jones Jr. out, Najee Marshall in. Again, probably in the push range, but a potential upgrade. Even if those are both pushes, Klay, from Tim to Klay is such a big upgrade, even for a diminished Klay Thompson. Like, you feel pretty good about where you're at with this roster and your depth. And by the way, you still have $4.5 million left from that mid-level exception you used for Najee Marshall. I think you could get a 9th, 10th guy in a rotation with that money.
Yeah, you could go get a decent player with that. There are some guys, and we'll put a full video out on the channel probably tomorrow about what exactly that could look like. But I do believe that the Mavs still have room to improve, and they can find someone on the free agent market to fill that 9th or 10th role. You expect Omax Prosper to take a little step up. You hope Jaden Hardy takes another step in his development.
Lively's definitely going to keep improving.
I think Lively will improve vastly, and all of a sudden, the Mavs have built a legit championship contender once again. It's incredible.
It's impressive, man. I mean, I think a big we should take a moment here to discuss, forget like the specific player, the whatever. This feels like kind of, I don't want to say exclamation point, but a significant moment in this franchise's history, regardless of how it plays out. You got a free agent, a marquee one, to choose you over LeBron and the Lakers. Woj reported that LeBron called Klay Thompson when free agency opened. Klay still chose the Mavericks.
Look,
that's not happening under Donnie Nelson. Let's just be honest.
It is a big mental hurdle to overcome that the Mavs finally beat somebody out for a free agent. I don't care who it is. I don't care that it's Klay Thompson who's past his prime. The Mavs beat the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James, who you could argue is the greatest player to ever step on a court. And they got their man. And Nico Harrison has done his job masterfully once again. He deserves all the credit in the world. That's why he got a contract extension this offseason. The way he has cooked this up, man, is something special.
You think about what Nico has done. He trades for Kyrie, controversial move due to the relationship he has with him. Not only does he fit on the court, he's been an outstanding citizen since he's been here, which was a huge question mark. You trade for Gafford and PJ Washington. Both guys play big roles in an NBA Finals run. You then pull off a sign and trade for Klay Thompson, a 4-time NBA champ, a top 100 player in the history of the sport, who was also competing to sign with the Lakers. He's done this all in the last 18 months. Like,
Chef Nico, baby.
You can't diminish what this guy has done as this team's executive. Like, we talked about the on-court upgrades. How about Donnie Nelson to Nico? That's a fucking upgrade.
It might be the biggest and most important upgrade.
Seriously, man. It's hard to not be fired up about where this team is and where this team's going. And remember, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about, man, one more bad year and Luka's going to request a trade. I mean, can you ask for more if you're Luka? Like, this organization has turned every stone, man. They really have.
Luka will be signing his 5-year, $346 million Supermax next offseason.
Which he probably was anyway, but, I don't think he's even thinking about the idea of what playing elsewhere would look like. Great Klay Thompson as a player, 0 to 100. He's probably around an 80 these days, 78. But,
84?
But that shooting is it's in the 90s.
Let's go, baby.
All right, Klay Thompson, you're a Maverick. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're watching live, we're going to keep this thing rolling. But if you're not watching live, hey, welcome, Klay.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. How about getting 2 seconds for Josh Green when Charlotte's just playing facilitator?
And so we just send one of those?
That's what Woj is saying could happen, yeah. It says one of those picks could end up in Golden State. I mean, I'll take 2 seconds for Josh when you have to unload his salary. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
In a vacuum, you would maybe want a protected first, but when everybody knows you have to unload that salary, you still get 2 seconds. That's pretty good, man.
Some guy's trying to argue with me on Twitter that it's not a free agent signing, it's a trade, and I called him an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a signing.
Exactly. Wow. Klay Thompson is a Dallas Maverick.
2,500 people watching
Real
live.
ones.
Do we have the sub counter? Can we pull that up?
I don't have it connected.
Oh, no. What's the number at? I want to see if we've hit 29 yet. We're 11 subs away from 29,000. Let's get to 29K. Let's get to 29K.
Oh, I saw.
Sub for Mavs Dubs. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Oh, is this the 3? Yeah, let's get that on there. Hit that sub button. If you're a Mavericks fan, we are the channel for you. 2 subs away, Coop.
Let's go.
2 subs away.
29K.
Let's go.
I was looking if the Mavs ever had a number 29 in their history.
It's a pretty brutal number, let's be honest.
The answer is no.
Never?
They have not.
That's incredible.
Never had a number 29.
Oh, Jesus Batista.
Oh, let's go.
He's left the Heat report.
He has left the Heat report. He's here, baby.
Let's go. Jesus Batista getting the super chat started. If you guys want a super, we'll keep this party rolling.
Let's go.
Shout out to Jesus Batista. Jesus Batista.
Congrats from Heat fans. Shout out Jesus.
He goes by Jesus. Jesus. Okay. Shout out Jesus Batista, baby.
It says congrats from a Heat fan.
That's class. That's class. You don't always see that. That's class.
It's F. Rolly. As always, but thank you, brother. We appreciate it. It is a monumental day to be a Mavs fan. There is no question.
I'll tell you what. If we get to $100 in supers, we're at 20. I'll throw back a beer bong. If we get to 100 total, I'll throw one back. I'm in. By the way, just spitballing here. You want me to throw some names at you for the potential $4.5 million remaining?
I would love to.
All right. I'll start with this one here.
Okay.
Gordon Hayward.
Ooh. Yeah. He was terrible last year for OKC.
His season splits, he shot 41% from 3. I know they basically didn't play him, but still averaged 10 points, 46% from the field, 41 from 3, 3-4 hybrid. He could be like your between Washington, Marshall, Kleba. He could be like that fourth of that grouping.
Absolutely.
And he'd give you more offense than Kleba, so in certain matchups he'd be your third. So okay, there's a name.
By the way, Klay Thompson rocking the Chat Sports sunglasses, baby.
Oh,
he knows ball.
I thought you were talking. Yeah, that's a real thing, not Photoshop. I thought he sent you the one on Twitter of Klay, Luka, and Kyrie
in the
I've seen that one Mavs too. Gear. But yeah, Klay rocking the Chat Sports shades. There you go.
Let's go.
There you go. How about this? Throw another one at you. Precious Achiuwa. Does he command more than $4.5 million?
Backup 4?
He's like backup 4-5. Like, he could play small ball 5. He could be your third power forward. We know Maxi's going to miss time.
Yeah, of course he will.
So, You kind of hedge there. Jamie
says, now time to get off the Maxey money, even if it costs you Hardy.
I think Maxey's.
Disagree.
I think, yeah. If it's lose both or keep both, I'm keeping both. Look, Coop and I, shit on's a strong term. Maxey frustrates us.
Absolutely.
But he's still, like, I kind of thought he was cooked defensively, and then he, like, wasn't. It was really weird.
No, it was
he
strange.
could still defend, and look, he showed you in that Clippers series, when healthy, he can still shoot the ball. Now, he's very streaky from out there. It's hot and cold, but his versatility and ability to defend on the perimeter is going to have him a spot in this rotation. And I'm fine with that. It's just a matter of Jason Kidd understanding, hey, he's a 12 to 15-minute guy, not a 25-minute guy. That's the difference, at least in the playoffs, maybe more in the regular season. But there's still a role here for Maxey.
No, there is. Maxey will be on this roster. I think the Mavs are basically done as far as like the trades and stuff go. So
by the way, Maxey can help you in a midseason trade if you want to make a midseason trade.
It depends on what you need there. Absolutely, he still has a very affordable contract.
Do you want me to keep going through some names here?
Yeah, go ahead.
And you guys, by the way, drop some names in the comments of who you'd like to see the Mavs sign. Coop will get some shout-outs going here.
Absolutely. Use hashtag Mavs or Super Chat.
Taurean Prince.
I'm in.
40%, big wing, good defender. And on him as well? Okay.
Yeah,
and again, some of these guys could get more than 4.5. It's hard to say. Different position. Kyle Lowry.
No.
No on Lowry?
No, I'm out.
Okay.
I like Dante Exum better than Lowry.
That's probably true. Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Pat Beverly.
Absolutely. I love Pat Bev.
Minimum or in that 4.5. I'm cool either way.
I think the defensive side that he brings would be a very valuable asset to the Mavericks.
And he helps you hedge with Exum. Like if last year was an anomaly, like P-Bev helps you there. Okay. Let's get to the next one here. Nick Batum just signed. Keep scrolling here. What if money dries up and you somehow could get Haywood Highsmith? That would be phenomenal. Although I feel like if you could get him for 4.5, wouldn't he just go back to the Heat?
Yeah, I would think so too.
If you could somehow get him, though, that would be
Haywood
incredible.
Highsmith.
How about Gary Harris?
He's still playing?
37% three-point shooter last year, can defend 1 through 3s. He's diminished, but $4.5 million?
I don't hate that.
Dennis Smith Jr.
I'm always back on the DSJ.
I feel like he's a more vet min guy, but
I'll tell you what. Credit to Dennis Smith. He has
good
become
defender.
Like one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA.
All right, before we get to the next group, I'll get some shout-outs here. Beverly in the chat. LeBron. Guys, LeBron, stop. It's over. They drafted his son.
Get LeBron for 4.5.
The Kang says Jay Crowder. I was going to mention him. Is Jaden Hardy still a Mav? Yes, his contract became guaranteed yesterday. DeRozan, if he wants to take $4.5 million, I think DeMar ends up with either the Clippers or the Lakers at this point, Coop.
Yeah,
maybe
that
Philly.
sounds about right.
Maybe Philly if they cut B-Ball Paul. Orlando maybe, but he ain't coming here. Keep getting shout-outs in there.
I see Steven Smooth, Kendrick King, Matthew Zuniga.
Hashtag Mavs or Super Chat, too. We'll get to your questions.
Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser is going to sign an extension.
Well, they already team optioned him anyway. He's in.
Trade for Westbrook? Absolutely not.
No. I would have taken Chris Paul.
Yeah, probably.
But he's off the market. Mentioned Jay Crowder. You in on Crowder?
Kind of cooked, but sure.
I mean, feels like your fourth wing.
Yeah.
He helped, like if Omax isn't ready.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Marcus Morris, another 4. 40%.
Apologizes first.
40% three-point shooter last year. Evan Fournier.
Yeah.
I think at this point I'm actually out. I want a defensive guy with this money.
Agreed.
I would go defense, so I'd say out. Daniel House. He feels more like vet men.
He feels like a Mav, but yeah.
How about Robert Covington? He's kind of fallen off.
He's fallen off a little bit.
But he can defend at a decent clip. I mean, if you ended up with any of those guys with that $4.5 million, I'd be in, man.
This is also, I think this might be true though. Shout out to Matthew Hooks, $2. The Mavs only have about $3 million left because they can't go over that first apron.
Well, but it's part of the mid-level.
Yeah, but you're still hard capped at the first apron.
What did Marks had a tweet on this a minute ago. Let me see.
Dallas hard capped themselves and the Mavs remain below. They have 3.1. They're 3.1 million below the first apron now.
So
if they wanted to get rid of Maxey, they could create more room.
So Mark says though it's the non-tax it's under the since it's under an exception. Like if you go to Mark's Twitter, it still lists 4.4 million.
Okay.
So because I don't think that the exceptions don't count against.
Yes, that's right.
So you still have 4.4 left after the Marshall deal within the mid-level.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, 4.4. Like you can get a player that will play for you, like in your rotation with that money.
I would think so.
I mean, you got Dante Exum for less than that. You got Derrick Jones for the minimum. Now you have to. There's a little luck involved, like that they're going to perform, but I think out of those guys I mentioned, at least half of those guys will be contributors next year in the NBA.
Agree.
So, all right. Wanted to throw some names at you. All right, hashtag Mavs or Super Chat. Get your questions in. Speaking of Kyle Lowry, the Suns are reportedly interested.
He doesn't really move me.
Yeah, I mean, he's a decent-ish defender, and he can shoot the three, but I mean, I'd probably just rather play Jaden Hardy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I need decent defense, I'll play Exum, who also shot the ball well from three last year. By the way, Thompson and his agent met with Nico and Michael Finley at the Bottle Inn in Hermosa Beach on Sunday night to dig into the details of a Thompson Mavericks partnership. So there you go.
The Mavs made a pitch and someone chose them.
Nico, baby. Nico. All right. You want to do a mailbag?
Let's do a sack.
A little mailbag action. Hashtag Mavs Super Chat. Give me back Josh Green, guys.
No.
Move on.
Send them.
Someone says Klay is trash. We just got Luol Deng's contract. Relax. It's a 3-year deal.
First of all, Luol Deng was 4 for 72.
And the Lakers were paying that until last year, I think.
That sounds right.
I'm serious. Oh, man.
All right. Use hashtag Mavs or Super Chat if you want to get on the show. You can continue to ask your questions while we go.
Someone says Luke Kennard. I wouldn't mind that.
Sure. He's all right.
Doesn't defend much, but he can shoot.
Yep.
He can shoot. I would prefer a defensive wing.
Yeah,
or guard.
Definitely.
Or guard. Oh, one more name. Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
Not a great defender, but he's got good size.
I could see that happening.
What's LeBron think? How soon until LeBron signs the max?
Well,
I guess if they get DeRozan, he'll take
Haynes
less.
says there's been communication between the Lakers and DeRozan's agent. It will either take a 1-year deal or a sign-and-trade where you can get a 3-year deal.
If you're the Bulls, you're hoping to sign and trade.
No doubt.
I mean, what would he get? They can only give him the mid-level on a 1-year deal. Is he taking that for 1 year?
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, LeBron's signing the max.
Yeah.
We beat the Lakers for a free agent.
Beautiful.
It's wild.
Yeah, they were lowballing Danny Hurley.
It is, by the way, it will be Mavs Warriors on Christmas.
Or opening night.
Or opening night. One of the two.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. All right. Hashtag Mavs or Super Chat. Get your questions in. And you want to get a weigh-in of who the Mavs should sign next? You can throw that into this sack.
That's a good call.
Be a good one. Someone says Miles Bridges. I don't see the Mavs going. I'm not going that route. Is Dodo available? I mean, I think yes, but
nothing the Mavs can trade.
Would you trade Kleba and a 2031 first for him? I don't think I would.
No.
Kleba and a second?
Maybe. Probably not.
You'd still keep Kleba?
I think Dodo's kind of cooked, actually. But.
He kind of sucked in Brooklyn. Now, Cam Johnson. Nah, you don't have enough ammunition. Let's not get greedy, folks.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Here we go.
Take your questions. Talk a little more Klay here on the show. We're going to take some questions here on Mavericks Today after Klay Thompson chooses the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million contract via sign and trade. If you have questions about who they could sign next, other trades, whatever you got, throw it at us. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein are ready to go. We'll get to this super chat first. Got another one coming in as well. Jamie, now time to get off the Maxey money, even if it costs you Jaden Hardy. I disagree, Coop.
Agreed.
Because regardless of how I feel about Maxey, he's a versatile defender. He can play on the perimeter on switches. That's valuable. And when healthy, he could still be a streaky shooter. It's very come and go, but he's still capable. And if it's Jaden Hardy and Kleba gone or both here, I'd rather them both be here because I think Hardy could potentially be ready for a much bigger role next year, especially with Tim Hardaway Jr. off this team.
Yeah, I don't think Maxey Kleber is going to go anywhere at this point now. I think the Mavs have kind of made their major move as far as signing Klay Thompson with the trades go, and I don't see them moving Maxey in another deal. So I think he's on the roster, and Hardy will be on the roster too. I don't think the Mavs are moving on from Maxey Kleber.
And you think where Maxey is, he's got 2 years left. I kind of feel like he's in the Tim range. Yeah. He'll be here this year, and depending how it goes next year, you could look to unload him.
Yeah, especially with the 2 years left on his deal at about $11 million. It's a very affordable contract. So Maxey will be on this team next year, I think.
Let's go to Logan. Do we get a backup center? Always could use a backup. We have
3 centers on the roster.
You have Dereck Lively, Daniel Gafford. Now, a name we were just spitballing live who can play some center, can play some 4. Precious Achiuwa, I wouldn't mind. He's a good defender, Coop. He can switch onto the perimeter and play out there a little bit. Yep. So I wouldn't mind him as like a 4-5 hybrid because, look, Dwight Powell might be the new Markieff Morris on this team where he's just hanging out. Yeah, like seriously. So whereas Achiuwa can actually play, and let's be honest, Kleba's going to miss time. He just is. So I would not mind a guy who could play some 4, who could also give you some small ball 5, and Achiuwa could be that guy. And there was chatter he could be in that biannual range, which is just under $5 million. And the Mavs have $4.4 million left on their mid-level, so maybe that could work out.
You know you're doing something right when the haters have already come around. The $5 super chat from Jules saying 0 for 10. He went 0 for 10. He's also the second greatest shooter in NBA history.
I got 4 titles.
Yeah, how about that one, Jules?
Yeah, that was obviously an ugly showing, but when you're a shooter, you're going to have those every once in a while. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure on a personal note, he hates that. That's how his Golden State era ends with that performance, but
what it is.
I think he has plenty of good memories to go to in the memory well to remember his time there. Unitiv, are the Mavs favorites to come out of the West after signing Klay? I would lean OKC because the biggest reason the Mavericks beat the Thunder, in my opinion, were that they were able to bully Chet. Like Gafford and Lively had lob after lob after lob, offensive rebound. Not that Chet didn't have a good series, but with them getting Isaiah Hartenstein, albeit an overpay, Chet can roam the perimeter more, be more of that finesse offensive player that he is. They can also still play him at the 5 in certain lineups, but I would give OKC the slight edge. And I think Dallas is right there after that, along with Minnesota, Denver. But Denver lost KCP. They've lost 2 key contributors 2 off seasons in a row and haven't really replaced them. Like,
yes, they have.
If Denver doesn't make another move, Coop, I don't know if they have enough ammunition. That roster's kind of thin. They're very top-heavy right now.
As we're filming this on Monday, we just have some reporting coming out. Mark Stein says Klay Thompson had face-to-face meetings with both the Lakers and the Mavericks in L.A. on Sunday night. He chose the Dallas Mavericks, obviously, and Kyrie Irving was there to counter recruiting for LeBron James. How cool is that?
Kyrie, man, he's been everything and more that even whatever you thought the best case scenario was, he's probably topped that. Now I know he didn't have a great finals and stuff like that, but A, I didn't know if he'd fit on the court. He's fit pretty well. B, I had major concerns, and there was a track record of him being just a flake and misfit off the court, and he's been great, man. Give Kyrie a lot of credit. There's no doubt. Nate with the super. What's your confidence in Klay's first 3 from Luka?
Who's going to assist his first 3? It's probably him.
Or what's the first look he gets on a Luka pass? Pretty confident. I would imagine early on in that first game they're going to dial up a play for Klay. So, look, I think he's going to be a 40+% three-point guy here in Dallas. I think they're going to generate a ton of good looks for him.
This is an interesting one from the King. Cedi Osman or Danilo Gallinari?
Cedi Osman has some positional versatility. Shot, I think, 38% from 3 last year. Gallinari's kind of cooked.
Agreed.
He's had a lot of injuries too, so I'm not that interested in him. Jetty's a little bit better of a defender, so I would lean him over Gallo. But with that $4.4 million left in the mid-level, I would like to sign someone who can give you some positional versatility on the defensive end. That would be my preference there.
Who should the Mavs sign next? Let us know down in the comments. Should it be a guy like Chetty Osman? Should they go after a guy like Pat Beverly? They still have plenty of options, about a $4.5 million to play with on that mid-level exception. So let us know what you guys think.
I wanted Nick Batum, but he signed with the Clippers. I think he would have been a great fit.
He's
but
back.
There are some other guys still out there. J.O., so the only player we are using is Josh Green. That is correct.
That is correct.
If you're watching live right now, the only thing that has to get finalized is what pick compensation is going to Golden State. The Mavs got 2 seconds back from Charlotte for Josh Green. Woj reports that one of those could go to the Warriors, which could finalize the trade. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be much going back to Golden State.
Did they keep any more funds? This one from Fit Old Fart. Interesting.
I think you mean point of attack defender.
Yeah, or point of contact.
Yeah, like I said, that $4.4 million, there's some quality defenders still out there. Now, what are the chances you're going to find a Derrick Jones with that? Probably not. Well, you already got Najee Marshall. He's your Jones replacement.
Yep.
Now, Marshall isn't going to defend guards at the level Jones can, but he can play bigger. He can play bigger wings. So, I mean, you're going to have that going for you as well. But there's still guys out there that you could bring in, no question.
This is an interesting one from NBA fan. Do we have the biannual exception? You
Negative.
do not, because Quentin Grimes is going into that. So the Tim Hardaway for Quentin Grimes trade, Grimes is going into the biannual exception, which will create the $16 million trade exception that will in turn be sent to the Golden State Warriors for Klay Thompson.
Exactly. Appreciate the question, NBA fan. Hashtag Mavs or Super Chat.
This is a good one. Another one from our guy Nate. What level of Klay makes this deal worthy? 5 out of 10?
Oh, if 10 out of 10 is peak Klay? If he is at least what he was last year for 2 of the 4 years, if that's the baseline, I still think it's worth it because you paid him less than $17 a year. I think he'll play better than he played last year.
I hope
he
so.
seems pretty motivated. Now, he's not going to all of a sudden get athleticism back, but I think he can re-engage. What did Jason Kidd? What has he done really well? He's gotten players to buy in defensively.
Yep.
So I think at least the effort will be better from Klay on that end than it was last year. He was pretty checked out. If he continues to be a 38+, ideally 40+ 3-point shooter, and plays a little bit better defense, then that's kind of all you need him to be. You paid him $17 a year. That's not you're not expecting an all-NBA player. That's not what that contract commands in this NBA. So you just need you need a solid player. That's what you need. I know it's kind of a lot of words to say, not a ton, but you just don't need him to be bad. Kind of be what you were last year, hopefully a little better, and that's kind of what you paid for. So
and that deal is worth it. Thank you guys.
Be a lot better than Tim Hardaway, who was making similar money.
Massive upgrade.
That seems pretty easy to do.
Absolutely. We appreciate each and every one of you for getting your questions in. When the Mavericks make a move, we will have it covered, so please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon here on Mavericks Today with some more content.
Alrighty.
Klay Thompson.
Still got 2,000 watching live. We can shoot the shit for a while if you guys want.
Anyway, we get back Dorian. Unlikely.
Let's look at his contract.
He's got 2 years left at about $13 million a year.
Yeah.
$14 million a year, something like that.
I mean,
this
14.9 next year, 15.3 the following.
I have great news for Deronius Maximus. He says his THJ gone.
He's been gone, brother.
He is gone, brother. He is a Detroit Piston.
You got Quentin Grimes for him. I think Dodo, who did not play that good in Brooklyn this year.
Let's fucking go.
Did France win?
France did win.
They did win? Okay.
After Sam would claim they were trying to be cheated.
They were, but that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter now. If you want, I've got all these socials built for Klay stuff.
Yeah, we've been using them.
Okay, you made a duplicate link today.
Yeah. Yep.
What was I gonna say? The Dodo question. I mean, if you,
I know, that's crazy.
Would you trade Maxey and Dwight Powell straight up for Dodo?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would.
I think I would.
If the Nets will take that, I'm in, but why would they do that?
Yeah, the Nets wouldn't.
Would you – if I could get Dorian without giving up a first, I would do it. I just don't think that's on the table anymore.
Shout out to Kyrie recruiting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try, baby. Hello.
Try, baby. Good stuff.
The character arc of Kyrie is crazy.
I wonder if LeBron is going to feel stabbed in the back.
LeBron is going to love his max, and he's going to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
LeBron, focus on playing with Bronny, because that's all you got left. I mean, if a Maxey Powell for Dodo swap would be fun, but
it's not happening.
The Nets ain't doing that.
Jonathan Isaac? I don't hate a Jonathan Isaac play, but again, you don't have the ammo to go get that done.
What did he do last year?
He was okay, I think.
Isaac last year, 6.8 points, 37.5% from three, 6'10". He played in 58 games. He's had major injuries. He missed 2 years with an ACL, and then he played only 11 games 2 years ago. Last year he played 58 games. He finished 9th in Sixth Man of the Year voting. I mean,
sure.
He's your backup 4. I mean, Kleba for Isaac. What does Isaac make?
He's on a decent amount of money.
He makes, as my screen goes black here, let's see. Finding Irving's deal is 17.4. So again, Maxey and Powell, does that get you within the 10%?
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you do that?
I probably would.
Isaac just has so many injuries. I
Yeah,
mean, I know Kleba does too, but I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Got a super chat from Nate.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I'll pull that one up.
Shout out to Nate.
Nate says, Luka MVP chances, more assists, less doubles.
I mean, I bet his assist number goes up at least close to 1 per game, I would guess. I mean, he averaged 34, 9, and 9 last year and got third. So, like, I mean, is he going to keep adding to that? Like, if he averages, I don't know, Coop, can he average a 35-point triple-double? Will that be enough to win it?
Yeah, I mean, he got screwed out of the MVP last year.
Yeah, I thought he was a worthy winner. Not that Jokic wasn't. Shea getting second ahead of him was a bit ridiculous. That was they won the West, and he was their best player. And, look, I love Shea. He's a great player. But, yeah, I mean, look, he's going to be in the mix moving forward for a long time, and you would think the law of averages, Coop, he'll eventually win one.
You'd hope. I think he will win an MVP at some point.
Klay should help. I mean, you would think he's going to get, I don't know, maybe an extra assist per game playing with Klay.
A whole assist a lot, though.
At least, what did he average last year from?
Like right at about 8?
Luka last year. No, it was more than that. 9.8 last year. Can he get to 10.5?
11, yeah, 10.5.
Yeah, I mean, that was a career high last year, 9.8. It jumped from 8 to 9.8 last year. That's a big jump.
That is a large jump.
So, over 10, still averaged 32-plus points. He's gonna grab at least. He had a career high in rebounds, too. Well, second career high, 9.1. Averaged 9.4 second year.
Logan Misiak with the $2 super chat says, are Mavs keeping Exum or has he been traded?
No, he's here.
They are keeping him. They guaranteed his contract.
He's an intrigue. I mean, if there's a player they really love, he's an interesting sweetener for a team.
Sure.
But,
yeah. He has some
I'm not trading Exum for, I'm only trading him if you're getting a player that's a clear upgrade because Dante's contract is essentially nothing. And I know he didn't play great in the playoffs, Coop, but he shot 49% from 3.
That's pretty insane.
Only 2 attempts a game, but, let's say that jumps to 3.5 a game and he shoots 40%.
Yeah.
That's pretty valuable. That is pretty valuable. So.
Is LeBron going to take the 4.4? I doubt it.
He is not. I think they actually. I thought yesterday the Clippers would end up with DeRozan. I think the Lakers find a way to get him, and that's what they go to war with. Action
Jackson said, I saw something funny in the chat. Hang Oh, he said Hartenstein got $29 million a year. Make that make sense. It's a lot of money for Hartenstein.
Yeah, I mean, if you're OKC, though, your big contracts aren't coming for a couple of years, though. Like, by the time you have to pay Chet and them, he's off your books.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, who cares, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
He fills a need. Like, yeah, you would have liked to have him at 20, but he clearly liked playing for the Knicks, so you were going to have to pay him a lot more to get him to leave. Like, if their best offer was 22, I think he would have gone back to New York for 18.
Yeah,
like 3 for 66 versus 4 for 72 in New York. I think he would have gone back.
But he got a bag and a half.
He had no choice, man. They gave him $11 more million per year.
Who can blame him? Who can blame him?
Oh, and by the way, he's joining maybe the best team in the West. Like, it's not like he did that to go to Detroit.
Exactly.
So these are some of the tweets that have been in terms of the reporting.
We mentioned this one that the Mavs. The Hornets are getting, or the Mavericks are getting 2 second-round picks from the Hornets for Josh Green. One of those will likely end up in Golden State.
And to get an extra second, that can help you in a future trade.
I can't believe they got 2 seconds for Josh Green.
When they know they had to.
Yeah.
That's why the Hornets suck.
I mean, they hired Steve Clifford twice.
I mean, he's a couple years away from getting a third chance. This is an update. Woj says it'll be a straight-up 3-year deal, no player option. So. Sweet.
All right, cool.
3 years.
You're locked into Klay.
3 years, $50 million.
Tobias keeps getting paid. Tobias, a 2-year, $52 million
That's what
deal.
I'm saying, too. Like, say what you want about Klay. Tobias just got $26 a year.
He's been stealing money.
Dude,
he got $10 more million a year.
When this contract's over, he will have made over $300 million in his career. Tobias Harris. Decent player.
Decent. Made almost $500 million.
Did he ever average 25 points per game in a season?
I don't believe he did. He got close, I think, but maybe never 25.
Let's see what his career high is. He never averaged more than... Bro, his career high is 20.9.
Yeah.
He never was a 21-point scorer. Incredible.
I don't know, man.
Incredible.
Luka, Slovenia, nothing at the half with Portugal in the Euros.
Yeah. That's a win for Slovenia. You just want to have a chance with the last 15 minutes.
No question about that.
Steal a game. Portugal's been threatening the whole half.
Is Sam Hauser a free agent? Sam Hauser is not a free agent. He is not.
Podziemski at $4 million is a better player than Klay at $17 million. I like Podziemski, but listen, if you're a Golden State fan, you can't sit there and say you're confident about your playoff, like being a high-level playoff team next year.
Holy shit. Anthony Irwin says the Lakers are willing to offer Klay $80 million over 4 years.
He chose the Mavs for less minutes.
Can you believe it? I mean, that is crazy.
I mean, that further just shows the Mavericks are a better run franchise than the Lakers right now. They just are. Say what you want. History, whatever. He left Golden State to come to the Mavericks over cushy West Coast Los Angeles and more money and a 4th year, Coop. That is significant.
It is. It really is. Like, it symbolizes a new era.
It's incredible.
Mark Cuban sells the team. Donnie Nelson's out. Nico Harrison running things over here.
Hey, Cuban hired Nico.
He did.
That started
Cuban
this.
hired Nico.
Got Poker Bob out of the way.
I don't know if Poker Bob was the problem.
He drafted Josh fucking Green, which got you Klay Thompson, so maybe he's not the problem.
One could make the claim. I won't make it.
You won't.
The claim that they get their first big free agent the second Cuban leaves. I'm just saying.
You won't make the claim.
I won't make the claim.
Cuban hired Nico. Yeah, it's a new time.
I'll tell you what, it's not a coincidence that Klay Thompson has worn chat sports glasses before.
This is not Photoshop. This is true.
This is real.
This is real. It's a real photo.
Oh, man. Let's see. Najee Marshall was one of the Pels' last promising players they could plug and play. I like the Najee Marshall signing a lot, Harrison.
I've looked into it more, too. Like, dude, he's like, I saw someone tweet, like, you ain't never going to have to worry about Luka. Like,
yeah.
like he's like Like someone was like, "Oh, he's a Luka protector who can hoop too."
Let's go.
Like, because remember when they got James Johnson, but he couldn't play at all.
Yeah, he couldn't play, nor did he protect Luka. That guy freaking stunk, dude.
Yeah, I like the Marshall addition.
3 years, $27 million for Marshall.
He won't defend guards as well as Jones did, but he'll defend wings and bigger players better. And he shot 39% from three last year. That was a huge uptick. We'll see if that was a fluke or not, but he's going to get good looks playing here.
No
so
doubt.
even if he just shoots in the mid-30s, I mean, Jones is 34% from three. Give me 35 or better, and I'll take it.
And a couple of hours later, Derrick Jones signed 3 years, $30 million with the Clippers.
Yep. Which I don't love that fit with L.A. for him.
I don't either.
Obviously, good money for him, but
Simon Garcia says Maxey in 3 seconds for Julius Randle. No.
that doesn't even work financially.
And also, no.
Yeah, I don't want Julius.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Dorian thing is interesting because he hadn't played as well the last couple of years, but I think he could be a good bench wing for this team. But you're kind of in a spot now where like you can kind of just let the game come to you if you're Nico. Like you've made your bread this offseason. Like go get a guy with that $4.4 million coop and you can kind of call it an offseason.
Absolutely.
If there's a trade that comes out of nowhere that's available, sure, always listen, but like you don't really need to force the issue anymore. Like you've made your bread. Thomas says I just keep breaking news. What just broke? Yusuf Nurkic is staying with the Suns per reports. There you go.
1 second, I'm just firing off a tweet.
What is it, Thomas? Who's going to the Lakers, Thomas? Mr. Majestic says James Wiseman to the Celtics.
Wait, actually?
That's what the chat says, but I haven't seen anything on TweetDeck. Y'all ain't taking Julius over Maxey. That's a bad take. What are you giving up? That trade doesn't work. The salary has to match.
Julius Randle's also not a winning basketball player.
Julius Randle, forget his on-court contribution. His cap hit is $29 million this year. Maxey makes $11 million. So how are you trading PJ Washington and Kleba for Julius? Because I'm not.
Absolutely not.
Because that's what it's going to take. I would not.
Isaiah Joe just got $12 million a year if you're talking about him in the chat. He got 4 years, $48 million.
No more Splash Brothers. I know. It's crazy.
We have the new Splash Brothers.
Someone says Haywood Highsmith. If you can get him for 4.4, that'd be awesome. I highly doubt it, but you know it would be sick if money really dried up is Caleb Martin.
That would be awesome.
Dude, if you got him for 4.4, that would be awesome.
I'm seeing a lot of Dennis Smith Jr. chatter on Twitter.
From who? Sources?
Not sources, from fans.
I'd take him.
I would take him as well.
He retweeted one of those Mavs blogs, so everybody's like, TSJ.
Patrick Mahomes weighing in. He's happy about the Mavs signing Klay.
I'm sure he is.
He loves the Knicks.
He loves the Knicks. Oh, man. Took less to come to Dallas. Over the Lakers. It's incredible.
Over the Lakers.
Coop didn't believe.
I did not believe. Nico, I'm sorry I doubted you. Yeah. Is Steph Curry our backup point guard in a couple of years?
What?
Is Steph Curry our backup point guard in a couple of years?
I don't think so.
Thomas Harrington says they're trading Austin Reeves and D'Angelo for Klay Thompson. Thing is, they're not, because Klay is coming to the Mavericks.
Oh, boy. Tyler Hero apparently is liking tweets saying that Jimmy Butler takes the regular season off. He's got to be old tweets, though, because you can't see what people like anymore, right?
Oh, no. You cannot see what people like nowadays.
Hit that sub button. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. I assume we crossed 29,000. We did. 29,101.
How about that?
Less than 900 away from 30K.
We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us.
Shout out to the real ones.
We're doing it for Seth Curry, getting to 30K.
Yeah, he's available.
He is available. Is Seth Curry a Maverick?
I mean, if he wants to sit on the bench, I wouldn't say no.
Number 20 or fourth time.
Fourth stint. Fun fact: my mother-in-law was their Seth Curry's kid's pediatrician for a few years. They love Dallas. They still live here in the off season.
Techno guy says that, no. Chris says Spencer Dinwiddie coming back. He's an option. I actually believe he is a legitimate option.
I think he's an option. I think he regrets choosing the Lakers at the in the buyout market.
Look, it was a bad business decision by him. It happens. He probably should have chose the Mavs.
Follow Klay's lead and choose Dallas.
That's correct.
Oh, man. Herb Jones, he's not a free agent, is he?
But I would love him. He's not.
I do love Herb. Sam Hauser has already, the Celtics already got him back on their team option, and they're going to extend him. It's actually not Ryan because they no longer are, and I didn't mention a name.
This one's pretty funny. I saw this.
And they wouldn't care anyway.
It's kind of trolling Josh Green, and I feel bad for him because I think Josh is a good guy, but this is Josh Green appreciation post. He may not be the fastest or the strongest or the most skillful or the hardest worker or the most consistent or the best dribbler.
But he was a Dallas Maverick.
Or the best defender. And
like, I don't want to bury the guy too much, but look,
a lot of
it wasn't even him. They just drafted the wrong fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is, man.
Now,
Kevin Love re-signed with Miami. He's not an option.
Would you like Desmond Bane? You probably would.
Yes.
You probably would.
It is what it is, man. Who knows what this team looks like or is if they did take the right player, though. You just don't know.
Poor Green has to hang out with Grant Williams again.
Cringe Grant, who actually played decent for Charlotte after he got traded.
And then he went to the locker room after the Celtics won the title.
That was just a joke.
He's a fucking stiff.
Bol re-signed with Phoenix. Oh, man. What do the Mavs need now? I think need's a strong word, but like I would like to add a versatile defender or another ball handler.
Yeah, I think that's where you're looking at.
One of those two
what you have
spots.
left. Absolutely.
Versatile wing defender or a ball handler. Dinwiddie's intriguing. Who are some of the guys I mentioned earlier, Coop?
Pat Beverly.
Yeah, I mentioned him.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Give me a second here.
Is Shell Clay better than Tim Hardaway? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Guys, Tim was terrible.
It's bad.
Like, his season numbers look respectable. The last 35, 40 games, he couldn't play. Like, it was bad, man. Who are the other guys I mentioned here? Mentioned Pat Bev. Gordon Hayward I mentioned. Precious Achua.
I'm in.
There's no way he cost us little, but Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, Gary Harris I mentioned.
Yep.
Marcus Morris. Did the Rockets opt into Jeff Green's team option?
I don't know.
I feel like we should know that, right? Let's see. Let's see. Josh Green. Jeff Green. Yeah, I think Jeff Green is in, so he's unavailable. Jay Crowder. Another one. You don't really need a center, but I wouldn't mind James Wiseman.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just not going to play.
Right, he would never play. I mean, you have your third center in Powell.
And Cleveland will play occasional
Right.
small ball five. Yeah.
Torian Prince?
That was the other one.
Yeah.
I knew dude, I'm intrigued. He's pretty good, man.
I don't hate him.
Torian Prince last year, pull up his numbers. He averaged right at 9 points per game, 44% from the field, 39.5% from three, and he played 78 games, so he was healthy. 27 minutes a game, dude. He started 49 games for the Lakers.
I don't hate
Bring
it.
him off your bench as like your 3-4. More of a 3, 6'6". But he could be. I mean, you kind of need a wing. Like, who's your backup small forward right now?
Omax.
Well, I guess it's Najee, but
technically, yeah. And then Omax after
then
that.
Omax. We don't know if ideally Omax is ready, but if he's not, By the way, I think Omax, I kind of feel like long term, he might play some 4. He's
I think he will.
6'8", 230, dude.
No, he's a big guy.
He's kind of built like Julius Randle.
He's a big guy.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? I got to do some Bear stuff here in a bit.
Other than that, Klay Thompson's a Dallas Maverick. That's all I got. I just can't believe it. The Mavericks beat the Los Angeles Lakers out for something.
Doug McDermott, if you want to go a shooter. I would just prefer defense. Yeah, I mean, listen.
It's
we got to see how it plays out, but like, I think even if it's like not like, even if he isn't great, like, again, he's a clear upgrade from Tim, and that's essentially who he's replacing.
Absolutely.
Like, so that's pretty significant.
It is a special day in Dallas Mavericks history, man.
Pretty cool. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We will be back with more content. We'll take a deeper dive into some of those options with that $4.4 million that the Mavericks still have left. They have at least 1, potentially 2 roster spots. Actually, potentially 2 if they cut A.J. Lawson. Because Ajinka's not coming over this year.
No, so you have 1, and then you could cut A.J. Lawson.
1 for sure. You could cut A.J. Lawson to have 2. We'll see if they bring back Keefe on the minimum. I don't have a strong opinion
he just can't play
on that. Yeah, he can't play. I mean, ideally, your 15th guy really is Dwight Powell.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, if he has to play in the regular season, at least he can run around and occasionally throw down a lob. But
no doubt.
All right. Coop, good stuff. This was fun.
We'll
Klay
see you guys
Thompson,
later.
welcome. MFFLs.
Klay Thompson, you
are
Dallas
Dallas
Maverick.
Maverick.